Good evening, my feathered fiends, and welcome back to the Hen House Files, where every tale takes flight straight into the heart of darkness. Tonight, the air is thick with smoke, feathers, and secrets. The Coven has awakened, and their shadows stretch across Elder's Hollow like a net tightening around a final, terrified breath. This is episode 11, All Hallows Flight. It's the night the crows return to roost, the moon bleeds pale, and the witches' chant rises higher than the church bells. So light your candles, clutch your charms, and for the love of the flock, don't look up when you hear wings. Tonight, the coven takes flight, and the night is alive with dark feathers. Every ritual leaves a trace, every whisper echoes. And on this All Hallows Eve, something is coming home to roost. The town of Black Hollow had always been quiet in October, the kind of quiet that pressed against the windows like fog. But this year, the silence felt heavier, expected. The leaves had stopped falling days ago, frozen on branches like time itself refused to move. Only one sound disturbed the calm, the distant flapping of wings. Sheriff Raymond Cole had lived through 17 Halloweens in Black Hollow, but never one like this. For the past week, strange lights had been reported near the old Wicker Mill ruins, white fires circling in patterns, vanishing before deputies could reach it. Livestock were found with faint, spiral-shaped burns on their hides, and several townsfolk had gone missing after sunset. He told himself it was hysteria, tricksters, stories. But when the clock struck midnight and the wind began to hum a tune, low, rhythmic, almost chanting, Cole knew deep down the coven had returned. Meanwhile, across town, historian Evelyn Hart sat alone in her attic, a dozen candles surrounding an open leather-bound book. The same diary discovered in episode 7, Feathers and Fire. For weeks, Evelyn had pored over its cryptic passages, translating the Latin scrolls that described rituals, blood pacts, and the cleansing of feathers. But tonight, a new message had appeared, words burned into the final page that hadn't been there before. The flight begins when the moon bleeds. Those who bear the mark must gather. She didn't know what it meant, not until she looked out her attic window and saw them. Figures in black, their faces hidden behind bird-like masks, moving silently through the fog. They weren't walking toward the forest. They were walking toward town. By 1 a.m., the bells of St. Bridget's Chapel rang without anyone pulling the ropes. The air thickened with ash and the faint stench of sulfur. In the distance, the wicker mill glowed with fire, but not like a burning building. The light moved with intention, swirling like wings unfurling. Witnesses claimed to see silhouettes in the sky, not birds, not bats, but something between. Shadows gliding through the moonlight, circling above homes, dropping what looked like feathers that turned to ash before they hit the ground. Evelyn ran to the sheriff's station, clutching the diary. Inside, she found Sheriff Cole, or what was left of him. His eyes were blackened, his mouth open mid-scream. A strange mark burned across his chest, 3 talon-shaped lines forming a spiral. The same spiral burned into the livestock, the same spiral in the diary's margins. As dawn approached, the fog grew so thick it swallowed sound. The townsfolk who survived that night gathered in the square, 27 souls, each bearing the same burn on their arms. None of them remembered receiving it, and on the church steps, Evelyn found one last page of the diary, fluttering like a wounded bird, scrawled in soot. The flight was only the beginning. The hen house shall rise, and with it, the flock will awaken. The air shifted. From the woods, a chorus of crowing echoed, hundreds of voices crying in unison, though no birds could be seen. Evelyn looked to the horizon. The first sunlight crested over the trees, catching on something metallic, thousands of small objects buried in the soil. She knelt and brushed away the dirt. Not feathers, bones, tiny, white, and shaped like wings. As the survivors of Black Hollow huddled together beneath the blood-orange dawn, one truth became clear. The Coven's ritual hadn't ended, it had hatched. And in the heart of the woods, beneath the ruins of the Wicker Mill, something ancient began to stir. Next time on Hen House Files, Episode 12, The Hen House Rises, the final ritual, the missing return, and the truth behind the curse that began it all, because some stories should have stayed unhatched.